Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another disturbing yet chilling story. Let me introduce you to Catherine Lloyd, aka Cat Lloyd, on TikTok. Now, for whatever reason, my algorithm wanted me to see her videos. Now, the video I stumbled across was this one. My local police planned my murder, I survived, and they took my life apart. Now, there are 15 different parts, 15 different videos where Catherine breaks down everything that took place. She also says that she has evidence to back up her claims. Now, I'm not too sure what the nature of this story is. It was just the headline that stood out to me. I've done a bit of research, saw that there was multiple parts, listened to a few seconds of it, and it did sound interesting. But what was even more interesting is that Catherine Lloyd hasn't been seen or heard from, according to the internet, ever since she released these videos. Her videos go back all the way until March 2024. Her last videos that she was posting on TikTok were in August of 2024. Since then, I haven't been able to find anything on Catherine whatsoever. It's like she has disappeared off the face of the planet, well, at least according to the internet. It is possible at this moment in time that she could be behind bars, possibly for one of the situations that she was talking about in these videos. But ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of videos to get through. So we'll probably have to do this over 2 to 3 parts, ladies and gentlemen. What I need you to do is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are newly watching, leave all your comments down below. If you are already familiar with this story, it would be interesting to get your perspective on this one. But hit the like button, fasten your seatbelts, and let's check this out.
Just want to say before I get into this that it is it's not a nice story, it's not fun, it's not that it's dark and it's nasty and it involves a lot of abuse. An attempt was made on my life May 14th last year, 2023. There is CCTV footage of that attempt with audio. I will share that. I will show it. There's also a lot of evidence to show and share, and I will be now sharing my story publicly. There is a trial that's due to take place in May. That is me that's on trial. Like I say, I will show you the footage of the attempt that was made on my life.
And that could be the reason as to why she hasn't been heard from on the internet since.
Man that attempted to kill me and kill my whole family, threatened to kill my children, and then threatened to kill the father of my children, has not been arrested and he has not been charged. They know where he lives. They know where he is. This is not something, a situation because they can't find him or they don't know who he is. They do, and they've known. The police know who he is and who these perpetrators have been for a long time. So obviously I've said that as far as I'm concerned, and I believe it was the police that planned my murder. And I'm open to opinions and thoughts on this and other people's perceptions, because maybe when I show the evidence and I tell you what's happened, that maybe, other people will have a different perception and think, well, are you sure it's the police? Do you think I'm sure? I'm absolutely sure. And I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure that it was the police that planned my murder. So I'm going to give you a brief history of the past 20 years, because I'm not going to go into the whole 20 years. It's long.
20 years.
Really get bored stiff. So
Wow.
I was introduced to a man through friends, and this man now has stalked me, harassed me, and controlled my life for the past 20 years. I'm convinced of his involvement in this. In fact, it's a fact. I know. And again, when I tell you, it's just really hard to see it any other way, to be honest. But then again, like I know, strangers, people that don't know me, don't know these people, may have a completely different perception. So it was extremely abusive. There were vile crimes committed against me. And the control was intense. When I had my children, the control became worse. The abuse became worse. And an incident happened before I had children. I don't want to go too deep into that. It was a nasty, vile crime, and it involved police officers from my local police. Now, this is going back 19 to 20 years. I could never contact the police about it because the police were there. And I was drugged. I was heavily drugged. And one of the police officers, which I find really hard to call them police officers, so I will probably refer to them much more as coppers, because it literally makes me want to gag to speak about them respectfully in any way. They basically, when they were leaving, one of them said, if you decide to kill her, don't call us, because we've already been out. So they basically left me for dead. Fast forward 19 years later, the same police force left me and my children for dead. And as far as I'm concerned, they planned the whole thing to keep their hands clean, of course, because it wasn't them that actually physically attacked me. It wasn't them that was stamping on me, bludgeoning me, punching me to the head and the rest of my body, stamping on my whole body. It was a man that, in fact, they literally made think he is untouchable. Like, he is untouchable, because no matter what he did to me and my children, he never got arrested, he never got charged. And if I reported the crimes that they were committing against me, the police came and arrested me. The police traumatized my children. They hounded us. They're still hounding me now. We can't stay at the address that our home address. We can't stay there and haven't been able to be there since May. Not because he tried to kill me, but because they charged me with GBH section 18 with intent. And I'm going to post my charges. You're going to look at the charges. You'll be able to see the charges, and you'll be able to look at the footage, and you'll be able to see what they've charged me with. There was like 8 or 9 people there on the other side in the end, and the only one person, when the police arrived over 45 minutes after the first 999 call came in, the only person that was arrested was me. When they got there, I was covered in blood. My face was pouring. My nose had been broken inside, like my nose and lip bit had been broken, not my actual bone. So it was just pouring and pouring of blood. My skull was cracked. My scalp was split. And they put cuffs on me behind my back, and they took me away. We are in the process of getting body cam footage. I have done a freedom of information request to get all of this, and obviously it's evidence for trial also. They have refused to give it. They're not giving it. I did a freedom of information request February last year, and I requested information from the past 20 years. I requested information for every single crime that I had reported, every single time I was arrested, every single time, and every crime that's reported about me from these people. So, because it will all easily be debunked, and I will go into that because of information I was given in a police interview. And the crimes that they've reported about me, or the things they've reported about me, are easily proven. If it's true, you would be able to prove it, but it's not true, and it can be proven on the contrary. So, which is always sometimes really difficult to do. But the things that they've said are easily proven. So it's a case of, there are a lot of people involved in this, and obviously I'm going to have to change their names. So I'm going to start with the past 5 years when me and my children moved to where our house is. I'm not going to say the actual name of the street. We moved there. We had to move. It's partly because of a situation wherever we lived, wherever we moved. This man who I've mentioned, who stalked me and harassed me for the past 20 years, he would onboard people. Little did I know, an area where we were living, he was actually surrounded by people he knew. He would onboard people, and they would do things like, when I'm walking down the street with the children, you know, they were so little at the time, I'd be getting called a bitch and a slag by people that I didn't know. I didn't know these people, and there she is. There's the fucking slag, bitch, you know, with my kids. And this is all due to him. We'd have people watching us, people coming in our garden. He would do that also. That was him. He was watching us as well all the time. So that's him. There's a lot more to that, and the abuse I've suffered from him, physical, sexual, and the stalking and harassment. All reported to the police, no action taken. But they would arrest me also. It's like a message. Every time you report him, we're going to arrest you. He did get
That's absolutely wild.
convicted
Makes no sense, to be quite fair. I don't understand how that would be allowed.
Thing he did, but at that time, that's going back to 2014. And that time, what he did is he actually smashed, he was trying to get me out of the car, and I locked the car just in time. I locked the car and he was smacking at my car windows. The car was shaking, the windows were shaking. I thought he was going to smash my window. And he ended up smashing my windscreen. The whole windscreen just cracked. He smashed it here with his fist. He got arrested and he did get charged. However, so copper comes out and takes a statement. I give him a statement. The next day, another copper comes out. I didn't know this copper was coming. I didn't know, he just turned up. He starts talking to me about this man, that he knows this man from when he was a child. He's grew up in the area where this man used to hang around and where he grew up. And he was telling me how he was such a lovely boy, he had such a lovely smile. And there is an actual video on my Facebook dating back 2 to 3 years now, where I've actually spoke about this already. And I've said the things that this officer was actually saying to me. The next day, this officer goes, after disturbing me. The next day, another officer comes, and that is Chief Constable of this police force. He introduced himself as that anyway. And he sat down and said, I believe that you are withdrawing your statement against said man. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know why you think that.
Now, for the sake of this video, everything that lady is saying is alleged. I can't confirm if it's true or not. But as far as we've heard, it does sound extremely corrupt. Cool. Before we get into part 2, make sure we hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching.
So this officer, Chief Constable, then says, well, I've been informed that you are withdrawing the statement or making a change to it or add it. I was like, no, I'm not doing anything to my statement. It's just to stay as it is. He wasn't very happy about this at all. And because he'd been informed by someone else, I'm assuming it was the copper that came the day before who was praising the man from when he was a child. So anyway, they leave, it goes to court, he does get convicted. And then, so I just wanted you to have that background, just so that you know more recent events and why I think it's the police that planned my murder. So then, fast forward, we moved to the address where we were living. Well, it's still our home address. I still pay rent there, and my property is still there, apart from the clothes and everything that we got out, and some of the kids' toys and that. So we moved there in 2018, May 2018, in fact. And when we move in and everything's okay, like the people that lived there before, and again, like I say, on my Facebook, I have actually already gone through all of this, and what I really want to talk about the most and put out there is how the police planned to kill me and possibly my children, and also the evidence that is just, there's so much evidence and it's absolutely undeniable. The amount of people's attention that it's been brought to, and they are still getting away with it. It is only a week ago on Monday that I spent, well, Sunday actually, 9 a.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. Sunday, until I left court at about 3:30ish or a bit before that on the Monday, that I spent 30 hours in a cell and I hadn't done anything.
Wow.
And they know I hadn't done anything. And this is because it gets to the point where the people who the judges trust in the court to be telling them the truth, i.e. the Crown Prosecution Service, are lying. They're telling lies. And part of the reason that I am actually speaking out and doing this is because all the way through, I have had the courage and the strength to speak out. I haven't stopped. They haven't managed to shut me up, which is why they have tried to kill me, because of the information I have, because of the information I've shared, because of the amount of people I've told. And the more they try and shut me down and the more they try and shut me up, the more people I tell. So I'm still alive. I did survive the attack on my life, or the attempt on my life. And because I survived that attempt, I won't stop. I won't stop speaking out until these people have been held accountable, until they are removed from the police force, until they face justice, and the Crown Prosecution Service as well. The people that are working in the Crown Prosecution Service, one in particular, who I found out his name now, I found out he is the one that's pretty much charged me with every single thing they've charged me with. I will tell you now, I have been charged over the past 3 years. Again, there is footage to this, so make your own minds up. You're going to be able to see, just make your own minds up. Of one of the perpetrators, like I said, there is a group of them. One of the perpetrators riding their bike into me. She rides her bike into me. I have a horrible cold. She rides her bike into me. She attempts to anyway. She leans out. She's about to slam into me. And I grab her handlebars and just push her away from me. She was not charged with anything. I was charged with common assault. Okay, so I'm charged with common assault. Oh my God, it's an actual fucking disgusting joke. So then on the footage, and the weird thing is, it's the police that actually pointed this out because I didn't notice. Something very shiny and very sharp rips through her bag and falls onto the floor. Now, if you go onto my Facebook, you're going to see this footage. I've posted this. This goes back a couple of years. So it was the first thing I was charged with. It's common assault, their harassment, stalking of me and my children, sex offences, threatening to abduct my child, one of my children, one of my little ones, for her husband. This had been going on for years. It had been reported to the landlord. It had been reported to the police. And first of all, they were doing nothing. And then they start coming, same old history repeating itself, arresting me, hammering at the door. God, no, they didn't care what time. They didn't care if the kids were there. They didn't give a shit. They couldn't give a fuck. They didn't care about the children. I'd informed them of the effect they were having on the children, so they would make an effort to come when the children were at home on the weekend. They are nasty and they are vile, and I'm going to prove it. I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you everything. The courts have seen it all. Now, the courts have given me the impression last time I was in court that they have now cottoned on. They are now cottoning on to that this is not legit. There is something very nasty going on. There's something very deceitful going on, and it does involve the police and it does involve the CPS. This one particular person. There might be more than one, but this one that has charged me with everything, lost evidence, and has told lies in court. He has committed contempt of court. He is in contempt of court, and as far as I know, he's still free to continue. These police officers are still free to continue doing what they're doing. They're still walking our streets wearing a police uniform, carrying a police ID badge. No, they need to be off our streets. They need to be out of our police forces. They need to be in prison. So this footage, if you look at the footage, take a look at it, and then if you look at that post on my Facebook, I'll also take screenshots and put them on here. So in case you don't want to move over to my Facebook and have a look, but I will put screenshots of here so you could just kind of scroll through them. On that, when I posted the footage after the trial, after I was found not guilty, I don't know if I'd mentioned it before. I had mentioned it because I did a video of everything that was going on before the trial. And it wasn't until after the trial I had the footage too, so I could post the footage. And like I said, I was found not guilty. I won't go into too much detail about that trial because obviously I don't want anyone to be able to play victim. So if you take a look at that and see what they first charged me with, then when it was brought to their attention, because new evidence had come to light, basically it was clearer footage, more zoomed in, and zoomed in on the sharp shiny object which had come through her bag. Also the fact that the police lied. She lied to the police in her statement. That came to light in court, that she'd lied in her statement. The police didn't do any of the checks to check that she actually was coming from where she said she was coming from, because we never had saw her at that time in the morning before when I was leaving to take my children to school, and in the direction she knew we'd be heading. Things like that. She said, oh, I was coming from it. They never checked it. They never did. She said she was coming from work. She doesn't work. So she wasn't coming from work, was she? So, but the police didn't bother checking. So, but they already knew that it wasn't me anyway. So, me that actually, you know, was the problem. She was about to slam into me on her bike. And when you push someone away from you who's literally just about to slam into you on their bike, that's called self-defense. And also, just to add, I was walking down the street on the pavement with my children. She was riding her bike at speed on the pavement towards me. So there's that. Look on the, I know, like I said, I'll post them because this is interesting for you to see. The perpetrator, the man who tried to kill me, has commented on my post on my Facebook. We're not friends on Facebook. I posted that and it was literally, I think it wasn't even an hour. I think it might have been, without looking, it was literally minutes after I posted it. He's on there threatening me. He's going to send people to my house. He's called me, what was it? An oi, you dirty spastic cunt. Keep pissing me off and I'm going to send people to your house. Blah, 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 blah. Nothing ripped through the bag. We've still got it. It's this bag. You can clearly see on the footage. 1 minute there's an orange bag. Next minute something rips through it. And the orange bag is pretty much disappeared because it's literally just been ripped through. Things like that. Obviously, the police have saw all this. What did the police do? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So this is explains to you how this man is becoming to feel that he is untouchable. They're all coming to feel that they are untouchable. Okay. And then it gets to in the next part, I'm going to cover where I got a caution. Now, I actually did do something to get this caution, and I'm going to tell you all about that because it's one of the other people who are involved. And this person who's involved, I didn't find out probably until about 2 years of living on the street, that he is actually linked to said man who has stalked me for 20 years. He is actually linked to him in a really strong way. He is actually said man's brother's fiancés that they're not together anymore, but we're together for like over 20 years. It's her brother. And they acted like they didn't know each other.
Wow.
But they've known each other for over 20 years.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is all alleged. We can't confirm if what this lady is saying is true. But if it is true, we have to say she's brave for coming forward with this type of information, especially with how serious she's painted this said man to be. Like I told you, after watching a small snippet of part 1 and then doing my research on Catherine, I couldn't find anything she had posted since August 2024.
So I'm just going to tell you about the caution I got now. I've already explained who this is for. Again, I can't name names. So this is a male. Now, when we moved to the address, this man, I had no idea he had links to said man stalker. So this guy seems quite friendly with the person that lives next door to me, who is the perpetrators. And this guy is, he doesn't ever speak to me directly, say hello or anything. But every time I leave the house, he leaves the house. Me and the kids go to the park. A few minutes later, he's in the park. I walk. We live like near a river. You can go that way walking. You walk that way. 2 minutes later, he's behind us, or me if I'm on my own. He just seems to be everywhere. Okay. And he'd come out the door and he'd say things without looking at me, but I'd come out and he'd come out and he'd be like, we really must stop meeting like this. But he's not looking at me saying it. He's like just looking his door and saying it. And I'm like, okay, all right, creepy. Anyway, forward a year or two. The harassment's been going on a long time now. The neighbour is constantly watching us in the garden, making comments. Got to the point I had to ask her to stop coming in the gate. There's a lock on the gate, but at the top, so she would unlock it. I'm not going to go through all of this in detail because I have already, about 3 years ago, done this. I've already explained all of this. So I'm not going to go through that again, but I'll probably post that video, but it's long, so I don't know if it'll post on TikTok. I'm not sure. So without going into all the detail of everything that was happening to us by these people, but it was horrendous. It was daily. It was being reported, and it was just continuing on and on. So one day I'm in the garden having a cigarette, and there is, it sounds like the next door neighbour is on a, like loudspeaker. She's talking to this guy on loudspeaker, this man across the street, and they're having a little chit chat. Long story short, she says her husband wants my daintiest daughter, and I'm not going to say their name, but she did say her name. So obviously my ears prick up. I'm like, What do you mean your husband wants who? What, my daughter? So I'm in my garden and I'm hearing this loud, clear and loud, like it's I know. And if you knew everything else that had been going on, I know I'm meant to hear this. Oh, and they think it's hilarious. And he's saying, oh, I don't know, ... I'm not sure what one will be my favourite yet. And she was like, what do you mean your favourite? And he went, oh, come on, let's be honest. They're going to be my kids one day, aren't they? I just told her, I don't know what the fuck you mean, darling. What do you mean they're going to be your kids one day? No, they're not. What do you mean you don't know what one's going to be your favourite and what one her husband can have? So I'm fuming. So I get my phone, I'm going to start recording. And as soon as I, with my phone, go to start recording and do something with my phone, they stop and they go quiet. So I was like, right. And my garden's fenced off. It's 6-foot fence. So, and there's a gate there. So I'm like, right. So I kind of put my phone back down. And then they carry on again. It becomes apparent they can actually see me as well. You know, if you can see my garden and where I was, there's not where can you see me from? Anyway, they think this is hilarious. She thinks she's like, yeah, she's gonna get a holiday to Bermuda or whatever it was from her husband if she could get my daughter that he's picked, you know. So I'm like just boiling. And after that, so everything to that point was comments about me, comments to me, watching me. She's constantly, whenever I leave, she's like talking to another neighbour and she'll be like looking at me and oh god, it was just horrendous. Like it was absolutely awful. We'd be in the garden, she'd be up at the window just standing staring at us, and she'd have something in it like she was recording us. It was found that she had a tape recorder set up with a microphone thing coming out of it.
That's some creepy old lady right now.
So the police told her to remove that, but then we'll get to the bit later where then the police fitted cameras for them, so with audio right near my bedroom window.
Wow.
So
this is weird.
Anyway, what happened was, so then the cracks start appearing because once they're just digging at me and that, like, I wasn't bothered. I was like, I just thought they were weird little people, just how odd. And the thing is as well, what they didn't know, or actually they did know, but I didn't know at the time, what they didn't know is, or I thought they didn't know, is that I'm used to this. I'm used to it because this has been our life wherever we live for the past 20 years. I'm used to people I don't know following us. I'm used to getting shit in the street from people I don't know. I've lived this for the past 20 years. So I'm used to it. So this is nothing to me that they're digging me out. Then they threatened to take one of my kids. So that was it. So then the cracks start appearing. Then I start reacting. And this is the first now, after about 2 years, it's the first time
exactly what they wanted, isn't it?
A reaction from me. They had not got any kind of reaction.
That's what they wanted.
Just a little bit about myself. I have no criminal history, no criminal record. I'm not laying any judgment on anyone that does. All I'm saying is, just so you know about me, so the charges and everything that's come against me is the first time I've ever been charged in my life. It's the first time I've ever been in court, yeah, as a defendant. It's, you know, this is not my life. This is not anything that's happened to me before. I haven't committed any crimes. I haven't, you know, there's literally, there's just nothing in my history, in my past like that at all, or leading up to this point. So
yeah, I mean, it's so weird because she is coming across like a strong, brave, smart, intellectual woman.
We 2 or 3, 4 weeks after this, anyway, he's doing the thing where he comes out with an idea when I come out, and like I say, the cracks start appearing. So I'm then saying, not every time, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm out, stalker's out, you know, just because I'm angry now. I've got angry, and so then one morning we're leaving for school. The car is parked right outside my house. His house is opposite. We leave. The kids go ahead of me and get in the car, and my little girl, who is the one they named, she goes to get in the front. My other daughter gets in the back, and then obviously, and the car's facing down, so the driver's side is on the street side. So the street's quiet. Check the road. George went out. As soon as George walks across, I shouldn't have said my child's name, but walks out to go to the car, he comes flying out of his house, down the path. His car's parked outside his house. So he gets in the driver's side, and my daughter is at the passenger side on the road. So they're literally just like a metre apart. And he says to her, I'm locking the door. There's something wrong with our lock all of a sudden on the door as well. It's all of a sudden really hard to lock. So I'm trying to, so he comes out. So even though just explaining it takes longer to explain it, this all happened very quickly. My reaction was much quicker than what it sounds when I'm explaining it. So I've got the key in and I'm trying to lock it. So I'm looking and he comes and then he goes to my daughter. And this all happens very quickly. He literally flies down the path. And he goes to my daughter. He went, hello, ain't you cute? And you a little cutie. I was like, get away from my daughter. Stop talking to my daughter. While I'm like, then the door's not locking because then I'm literally stressed. So anyway, he was like, he looks at me, he looks back, he went, yeah, you are very cute. And that's it. I just left the keys in the door, started flying down the pavement. He literally flies in his car, shuts his door. And I was like, you fucking want to. So that was it. So George gets in the car. My kids go, I was like, just get in the car, darling, shut the door. I take my kids to school. I get back and I fucking lost it. I went over there, started hammering on his fucking door. I'm hammering on his door. I was like, get your fucking door open now. I was like, what's your game? What are you doing? What do you want? What's your end game, yeah? You really want to take one of my daughters, do you? And he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I went, okay, then tell me this.
Oh, trying to play my game.
Why was you talking to my daughter this morning and I told you not to? Why did you continue? Why did you come flying out of your door to do it? And he's just like, oh, I am sorry. Anyway, I got physical. I fucking lost it. I did. I headbutted him, kicked him. I just fucking lost it. That's why I got arrested and got a caution.
Based on the way she is delivering this story, she does sound like she is extremely competent. She knows what she's talking about. This is a real and genuine story. Again, for the sake of this video, whatever she's saying, I can't confirm. It's all alleged, but she is sounding extremely sincere when she tells her story.
I'm surprised I did, to be honest. Let's be honest. What happened to them for what they did, for threatening to abduct one of my children? What happened for him to, approaching my child and he's told to get away from my child and obviously doing it to cause a reaction. He wanted it. He threatened to abduct my child. Oh, let's be honest, they were going to be his kids one day anyway. And then he's coming over to my child, just specifically waiting for us, no doubt, at the door, waiting for us to come out so he could run out and do exactly what he did. What happened to him? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sounds like one of those horror movies when you move to an area and then you come to realize that everyone in that area is connected. They're all hiding this little secret. As time goes on, dots start to connect, puzzle pieces start to connect, and the truth starts to unravel. But what's not really sitting right with me at this moment in time is the fact that her neighbors were plotting on taking her children. I mean, this point of the story sounds extremely disturbing, but I'm just struggling to understand how it links to this said serious guy. That was the third video of the 15 that she already has. The rabbit hole actually gets deeper and there's so much more to this story that I want to share. So make sure you guys hit the like button, get yourself back here for our part 2. There probably will be a part 3 and a part 4. Turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on those videos, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.